So if you want to get the glory for what's God doing, you might as well come to the altar right now. Because the king get all the glory. We're just willing vessels. Just willing vessels. That's all we got to be. That's it. Willing, holy vessels is all he asks for. That shouldn't be too hard. But we make it hard. And as today, what I was going into, I can look around and see why God wanted me to do this, because where my brothers at? Where my men of God at? Where are they? Where are they? We got to get masculinity back in the house of God. We got to. Because, you know, God's house wasn't just made for women to do all the work. And I'm going to continue to speak on that because God had to deal with me, like I always say, he deal with you first. And as we go into our scriptures today, I want to go with Psalms 144, please. Praise be the Lord, my rock, who trained my hands for war and my fingers for battle. So right there, God is telling you he is training us for battle. He's not training us to sit around and let somebody else do the work. He's training us. But he says, praise be the Lord who trains. You got to be trainable. You got to be trainable. You can't already go into this thing knowing you can do this without God, or you already got your own agenda made up of how you want to walk with God. Men of God, we got to let God train us. We got to quit sitting on our hands, sitting on our fingers. He's training them for war. Whatever you in right now, it's a training ground. It's a training ground for us men. You know, the women, they've been doing their thing long enough. They have. And I appreciate all the women, but they had to do it because no men would step up and do it. And what did God say? He would pour out his flesh amongst those that are willing, basically. Take the little baby, for example, up there today. He's a young man. A young man, because us men, we keep rejecting the invitation that God's given us. So as we reject it, he will pass it to the next generation. But we got to be there to give the next generation guidance. But if we sit with our mouth closed, how can we guide the next generation? But you know what? God don't need us. He proved that today. He proved that today, men. All right, let's go to 1 Corinthians 16:33. Be on your guard. Stand firm in the faith. Be courageous and be strong. My God, we got to stand strong. We got to stand with courage. Every little whimpering thing come through, we want to back down and we want to drop our heads and we want to blame God for this and blame God for that. But he's given us the word. He's given us the knowledge. He's given us his Holy Spirit, but we just reject it. We reject it by sitting around doing nothing. We say we want to be men of God. We say we want to step up in our place, but the only thing we want to conquer is what we want to conquer. God has set us on this earth to be a conqueror. That means conquering not just at your home, not just at your jobs, not just on a baseball field or football training your kids. You got to conquer the things of God. We got to start conquering the things of God. That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about leading your kid to a championship or sitting over there watching a ball game with a grill running. He ain't talking about that. We got to come into the house of God and be willing and ready at all times. It's time for a man voice to come into the earth. The women's, yes, they doing great. But God created us. When he breathed into us, he breathed into man. He didn't breathe into woman. He breathed right into a man. But we keep rejecting his invitation, my brothers. How long? How long? A female lion hunts. Lion hunts. She do the hunting, but when something different come to that pride land, that man show up. We got things going on in the church When is that man going to stand up? When is the man lion going to roar? When? My God, we got to start somewhere. So that's why I'm going to go into David, because you know what? David was a man of God, a man after God's heart. David was everything. David praised, he worshiped, he listened, he battled when he had to battle. You might catch David over here singing a song, playing his heart, just dancing around with the Lord. But when something showed up to take them sheep, he stepped up like a man. He stepped up like a man. We got to stand up. I don't care about if he played his heart. Oh, he may look feminine over there. But I guarantee you, run up on David, you want to, you got a real serious problem. And you're going to see in scriptures what David done to that problem, because there was no real men willing to battle, and he just was a young babe. He was a young babe, ready for war. But David could have missed his whole mark, church. He could have missed it. He got anointed king. He got kicked back to the sheep. He had to go and play his heart for a man that he was replacing. But you know what David did in his secret place? His isolation, they thought. He made it his secret place where he gathered his strength. He gathered his strength right there. He played his heart. They needed a man, a skillful player, to play a heart. He fought battles right there, if you look at it, because he was playing his heart against the demonic spirits. Huh? He was praying and speaking to the demonic spirit with his fingers, because they was trained for war. They was trained for war. That's why he was playing that thing. That's why he spoke the words he spoke, because David didn't get mad. David didn't get upset because he went on the front line. He could have been real upset. I know some of us would have. How you going to anoint me king and make me go sit over here with these sheep? How you going to make me take my brother some food when I'm a king? I'm the replacement. That's what David could have done. But David was a man after God's heart. David operated where he was needed. Every time he operated where he was needed. So, as we go to Samuel 17:10, please. And the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. Give me a man. It's thousands and thousands of men out there, but none brave enough to stand up and take that challenge. None. Because you know why? They weren't spending no time in the secret place. They weren't letting God train them for war. They was getting trained by man. That's what they was getting trained by. Men of God, we got to let God train us. We can't let man train us, because the word will never lie. Man will let you down every time. How long? How long, church, mostly my men of God, will we let these spirits come in here and defy us? How long will we let these spirits tell us what we can do and what we can't do? How long we going to let these spirits take our children? You want the prodigals to come home? Well, stand up and use your voice. Use your knees. Get on the battleground. And I'm talking about you men, because you women doing it, they need help. Because you got to have a man voice. You got to have a man voice. I'm not biased. I'm not like that, but I'm just telling you what God been dealing with me with, because I had to become the voice of my house. I can't keep letting her pray. I can't keep letting her talk about chastising the children. No, that's a man's job. And the kids get in line when daddy come through. It's no different than these spirits. When a man of God, not just a man, but when a man of God show up, Boy, they start trembling in fear. Jesus proved that. When he walked, they trembled. Are you here before your time to send us away? Are you? No. But you're going to know my presence. Men of God, we got to let them know our presence. We got to let them know we are here. How long we going to be in that corner quiet, sitting on our hands? How long? We got to get on our knees. We got to call out them spirits. Women's need our help, men's. Can I look at 1 Samuel 17:42? Now this is the Philistine as Goliath. Y'all know. He looked David over and saw that he was little more. He saw that he was a little more than a boy, glowing with the health and the handsome, and he despised him. The enemy recognized the glory when it showed up. See, the enemy recognized the glory. But every man that was out there when he walked up, they didn't recognize the glory. They didn't know what. They said, oh, you come to cause trouble. Oh, this is a man of war. They gave him so many excuses that he could have got in his head. David could have been defeated when he entered them grounds because everybody went against him. But David said, my God, you will not sit here and defy my God. You will not defy my God. Even Saul tried to dress him in his armor. It didn't fit. Because if the armor would have fitted, Saul would have got the glory. See, Saul would have got the glory if the armor would have fit. You know what I'm saying? So, men of God, I'll tell y'all right now, you can't wear your wife armor. It don't fit. It don't fit. Our armors are built for us. Not your grandma armor, not your daddy armor, but your own armor. David went to battle with what he had already approved. I'm coming at you with a rock and a sling. That's all I need. I done killed the bear. I done killed the lion. Come on. You will not defy me. And I'm going to take your sword when I get done, and I'm going to cut your head off. Because I ain't bringing nothing but the prayer of the Lord with me. The enemy provided the weapon to take his own head off. And that's what he's doing. He's already provided the weapons we need. Do we see the weapons? Do we want to pick up the weapons? Are we afraid? Which one? You say you're a man. You say you're a lion. That's why David come from the tribe of Judah. That's why. He was a lion. He was praised. He was worship. He was all those. That's why he came from there. What's your bloodline? What's your bloodline? You want to claim this and you want to claim that? But men of God, we got to stand up. It's time to claim our territory. We want our city to change. Then let's get out there and be the change. Let's speak to it out there. We can come in here all day long and praise and get filled up, but we steady just spreading it with each other. We ain't going out doing the work. When you come in here, it's supposed to be getting filled, getting more wisdom to go out there and face what's out there. We should be asking God, give us sight beyond sight. When I say a man voice into the earth, Joshua was the only man that spoke to the sun. God allowed him to speak to the sun and it stood still. It ain't been done since. You know why? Because I don't think men's got the courage to think they can do it. They don't believe in themselves enough. We got to believe in ourselves. Men's, women of God, we got to believe in ourselves that what we say and what we declare, it happens. We can't be wavering. No more wavering. Whatever we speak, it got to be, amen, yes, here it is. God, you going to do. We just pray for this young man. You know what I'm declaring? When they get up there, healing going to already be in effect. That's what I'm claiming right now. It is not about my might, my spirit. It's about the living God that's in me. That's what's in me. He talked and he touched me and he done did all these things, but it came a time where I had to make a step and I had to change. It don't matter who prophesy over you. It don't matter what your wife pray about over you. Until you make it up here and it gets here, ain't nothing gonna change, and you ain't gonna change nothing. Nothing. Only thing you're gonna come up with excuses after excuses. God is tired of excuses. God ready for a man of war. That's what he's ready for. Step up. Do something. That's what God wants. Heavenly Father, thank you, Jesus. Let's go to Judges 4:8, please. Everybody know Deborah. She prophesied under the palm tree. Deborah was a mighty woman, a prophetess. And Deborah called the man of God up. I think it was Baraka. She called him up. She prophesied everything he was supposed to go and do. She said, go do this, take this. You know, you're going to take Syria. You know, y'all got to read it all. I'm not going to go all into it. I'm kind of paraphrasing it. But Deborah called this man. And after all she told him to go do that God wanted him to go do, this is us right here, man. It definitely was me a while back. And Baraka said to her, if you will go with me, then I will go. But if you will not go with me, I will not go. My. God just given us instructions, men of God. But we don't want to go unless our wife or our woman or our mama go. Really? What kind of man is that? That you don't want to go to war without a woman at your side? Really? I need her home praying while the battle is taking forth. We need that woman home with them pots rattling when we come up out of that with that victory. We ready to eat. Huh? We want some fresh wine poured out. You know, that's what we want. We ain't got time to be sitting around. Oh, you want to go to war with me, huh? I won't go unless you go, huh? You gonna go? No! You grab that man and say, let's go to battle. Go. Let's go, man. That's what you do. Could you roll on to the next one, please? I think I put it up there. Not Gideon. You know, I think I may have skipped that one. I got it. Let's go to Judges 9. Let's see if I think that was it. I may have skipped that one, guys. It's all right. I can. Judges 4. It was 8 through 9. Let's go to 9. I can read it out the Bible. If you can't get it up there, I got it. So after he said he would not go, so she said, I will surely go with you. Nevertheless, there will be no glory for you in the journey you are taking, for the Lord will sell Syria into the hands of a woman. Huh? Men of God, either we go to war and we start being men, or it will be nothing for us. Nothing. God created us to walk in his glory, to be his image. He created us to be that fighting force for him. But if you will not, somebody else will go. If you don't want to fight for Taylor County, somebody else will. If you don't want to fight for your church, somebody else will. Don't get mad when somebody else been raised up to fight for what they believe in, because you done had all the chances. You done had everything been just given to you. That's the problem, see. Most of us been given stuff. You're supposed to earn it. You're supposed to earn what you want. A man get out and earn it. He earned. He spent time with the Lord. How can he rule his house if he can't even spend time with God? Because God teaches us how to be godly men. He teaches us how to be better husbands. And then we get so caught up in walking into the church and walking with power. Now you forget about the one that brought you through it when she was there praying for you and making you believe in who you was. And then once God placed it in you, you forget about him. You can't forget about the one that helped you get through it. See, back about 6 years ago, I was doing the same. I was preaching at churches all out of town and everything. And, you know, you get so busy and caught up that you forget about the significant other. You start treating her a little rough. She try to give you advice. You don't want to listen no more because you know it all now. Because God working with me, God working through me, God has showed me miracles. But that is a spirit of pride. So I had to ask for that spirit to get away from me. You know what God did? He sat my tail down for a little bit. I had to be sat down because I forgot about who she meant to me. Sometimes I forgot about what God meant to me. And see, as we walk in this power and we start seeing these miracles happening through us, we got to stay humble. We got to remain that. We can't let it be like it's me, because it's about the glory of the King. He give us the glory. He say, walk, and I'll be there. So when we walking, he's in front, he behind, we in the middle. The glory is leading and the glory is behind. Can't nothing touch you if you walking that way. You want to get ahead, you just walked out of your glory. The moment you stop praying and doing what you're doing, you fall back, you fall out the glory. So church, we got to stand up. We got to work as peoples of God that loves God, not people that love ourselves more. Men of God, I'm challenging you. Start rising. Start opening your mouth. Speak to the earth. Speak to the things of God. We got to, and when you do it, you got to believe it. Just as well as we sat over there and believe in Florida State gonna beat this team, we ought to believe that God will beat the devil because we said so. We got to. But we don't have that because man is out here and we can see it. Scripture says, blesses those that have not seen. Huh? That's what it's supposed to be. So today, let's rise up, man of God. Let's rise up. And as David fought Goliath, when David had just come out of his secret room, he was all glowing, filled with the Holy Spirit. Nothing can tear him down. And then David in 17 verse 45, 1 Samuel. I forgot I got it all up here, so I'm sorry, fellas. Then David said to the Philistine, you come to me with a sword, with a spear, with a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defiled. That's all he said. He spoke to that situation, and he charged it. He didn't just speak for it and go in the corner and say, now, if it's your will, Father, do what you need to do. No, he said what he said, and he took charge because he knew that the Spirit of the living God was with him. He knew it. So, my God, when you know the Spirit is with you, you take charge and you go at it. And like I say, that's when he took his head. You cannot take anything if you don't take charge of the situation. You can't change nothing. Just take charge of the situation. Church, we got to stand and take charge of the situations. So I come to you today and say again, how long? How long, church, are we going to let them spirits defy us? How long? How long are you going to sit in a church service and you see demonic activities going on, but you ain't got enough courage to stand up? How long can you go to a family reunion and see that foolishness going on and you don't want to say nothing? How long you going to go to a ball game, see foolishness going on, but you won't say nothing to the situation because you got thousands of other believers around because they ain't saying nothing? I guess you're not going to say nothing. One man took down a giant. One man gave Israel victory. A boy. But he knew his place. He knew his place. Even in the moment when he could have took Saul out, he didn't touch him because he knew Saul was still God's anointed. So it don't matter if you see a preacher or whatever doing something wrong. You ain't got to put your mouth on him. You can go pray for him because he's still God anointed. We don't walk a perfect life every day. We don't. So you don't judge nobody for what they got going on. You hear me, church? You don't judge them. You do not touch them. You let God do the work. You go inside your secret place and you pray and you let God do the work. Because every time we do the work, we're going to mess it up. We're going to mess it up. So I just want to thank everybody for coming. I'm going to turn it over to my beautiful wife. Her birthday's tomorrow. So turn it over to her. I love
Announcements.